Hello coin collectors out there, welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. Hope you're having a great day. In today's coin video we're going to be talking about the 1941 Washington quarter. Now yes, this quarter is silver. It's got a nice amount of silver in it, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about the quarters that preceded the 1940s Washington quarter, and we're going to get into some error coins and all the typical stuff you expect to see here on a Big D Coins video. Alright, let's give you a brief history of the quarter first before we get into the 1941 Washington quarter. So the quarter going back to 1838, the version of the quarter was the Seated Liberty. That was the version from 1838 till 1891. Then from 1892 to 1916 was the Barber quarter. Then 1917 to 1930, the Standing Liberty. Then 1932, the Washington quarter. Now the Washington quarter had the same design on it from 1932 until 1998. You guys know what happened in 1999. That was the Delaware State quarter, the first state quarter that came out. So there was a design shift in 1999. There's also a big date in 1965. 1965, unfortunately, when the mint took out the silver from the Washington quarter. So prior to that, it did have some silver in it, which is going to increase its value both to coin collectors and to people collecting silver out there. So at the same time as the 1941 Washington quarters were being made, they were making the Mercury dimes. The Mercury dimes, which have silver in them as well, were made up until 1945. So these Mercury dimes right here, I pulled out the ones that I have that are dated 1941. So you can see we've got a 1941 quarter and a 1941 Mercury dime. So I'll make some separate videos about these ones, the Mercury dimes. Feel free to check those out. This one right here is a Standing Liberty quarter. This is the quarter that was in place from 1917 to 1930, which preceded the Washington quarter. Now you can tell this quarter right here is in rather rough shape. You can get one that's in much better shape than mine, or you can get one that's probably the same kind of condition that mine is. As you can see, it's rather worn out. I'm not sure we can even make out the date, but we can make out some of the design, which is pretty cool. Actually, I should try and weigh this and see what its weight is, because it's worn off so much it might have lost a few ounces to it. Alright, now let's get into this Washington quarter, focusing on the year 1941, so we can dig into some auction prices, some error coins in 1941. Let's start with the error coins. Now the Cherry Picker's Guide to Rare Die and Variety Coins is absolutely filled with error coins for 1941. So there are actually 8 different examples of 1941 error coins that are in here. I'm not going to go into all of them, but just to give you some kind of idea about what's out there. So for 1941 at the Philadelphia Mint, the Cherry Picker's Guide has 4 different varieties of the double dies on the obverse and the reverse. The Denver Mint has two different double dies for the reverse error coins, and the San Francisco Mint has a large S mint mark, which there are 2 different varieties of the large S mint mark for that 1941 San Francisco Mint coin. Now, in case you guys didn't know where the mint marks were, the mint mark are on the back here, so you can see this one right here is from the Denver Mint. This one right here is from the Philadelphia Mint, which is evident by the fact that it doesn't have a mint mark. We can flip it over, and on its edge we see that there's no copper showing through, indicating that it is in fact a silver quarter. Now let's look at some of the auction results. Now I was looking at the auction results for this particular quarter, and I did something that was kind of interesting. I was sorting it rather to show the largest first, and I accidentally sorted it to show the lowest price first, and it kind of cracked me up because in January 12, 2014 at the Great Collectors Auction, there was a AU58 quarter of the 1941 which sold for $9. There's another one that sold at the Great Collections Coin Auction on 4/20/2014, which was an AU58, which sold for $11. And that kind of cracks me up because it cost about $30 to get a coin graded, and the auction house is going to take out a percentage as well for having to host that. They probably had to pay to ship it to that auction. So I can't imagine how much money that person lost by selling this quarter at the auction. For $9, and then another one for $11. And then AU designation, it means about uncirculated or almost uncirculated, so it's still got some imperfections to it. So if you've got one that's in circulated condition, I wouldn't recommend paying for it to get graded and then selling it at an auction. However, when I do the proper sort on that 1941 PCGS auction prices, I see that there have been some mint state 68s that have sold for an absolute ton of money. At January 9th to 14th, 2013, a U.S. Coin Fund auction in Orlando, Florida, there was a MS68 which sold for $23,000. That was January 2013. July 2008, there was a mint state 68. It could have been the same coin, which sold for $23,000. And there was also a November 2013 where a mint state 68 sold for $18,800. So if you've got that mint state 68, like all the other coins, then it's going to be worth a ton of money. Another interesting kind of component, the two main sites I use, two main pages on the PCGS website that I use are the auction results, which we were just talking about. That's PCGS auction prices, as well as their price guide. So that I'm looking at the Washington quarter price guide right now, and interestingly, they only go up to a MS67 level. So they don't even grade it up to, they don't even have price guides up to 68, but there have been some that have sold at 68s for absolute ton of money. So hopefully you guys found this a little informative. We talked about kind of the years of the quarter leading up to the Washington quarter, hit on the seated Liberty, Barber quarter, standing Liberty, and then into the Washington quarter starting 1932. Gave you a little bit of information about the 1941 errors, 1941 prices that have sold for. Hopefully you guys can take away some of that information. I would definitely check out the PCGS auction prices website. You don't have to be a member to just kind of scroll through it. If you want to search for specific coins, maybe you need to be a member, but I'm not logged in right now, and I can see a lot of great information on that website. All right, everyone, take care. Best of luck coin collecting. Have a great day out there. Enjoy.